Hi, I'm Eva Maria, and this is Wannado City. Now open at Sawgrass Mills in South Florida, Wannado City is the first all-new theme park invention in decades, and it is spectacular. First off, it's all indoors, and it's giant, it's huge, the size of 3 full football fields. Wannado City is America's first role-playing theme park. This city made just for kids is a truly unique place where kids can be anything and everything they want to be.
So when it comes to theme parks in Florida, what do you think? You think of Disney, Universal Orlando, maybe SeaWorld or Busch Gardens. You would never think one of these to be in South Florida, nor would you be one to say the words Wannado City. But for a time in history, this theme park did exist. But if you look it up now, said history has been lost to time. The website is long shut down. There's some articles on Wikipedia that lead to dead links. And overall, there seems to be just little attention to this once mighty theme park sitting in the Sawgrass Mills Mall in Sunrise, Florida. Yet, its story is fascinating, and as someone who has personal experience with it in all of its years of operation, I finally want to tell the story to the completeness that it deserves. Hi, I'm Jordan, and welcome to Jordan's Soapbox. Let's talk about the history of Wannado City, South Florida's lost theme park. Our story actually starts not in Florida or even the United States, but in Mexico during the 1990s. Because before Wannado City, there was a similar concept in Mexico called, and I apologize for my poor Spanish, La Ciudad de los Niños, or City of Children. It opened in September 1999 in Santa Fe, Mexico City, as the brainchild of 2 individuals, Xavier Lopez Ancona and his best friend Luis Javier Larrazgatti. I apologize to anyone who had to hear me pronounce those words. Anyway, the latter convinced the earlier about the concept of a role-playing nursery, which would later expand into a whole role-playing city. It would be where kids would engage in a variety of activities based on real-world work, earning or spending fantasy money in a safe environment. The duo would have to overcome financial difficulties during its development, such as a lack of funding and the financial situation in Mexico at the time. But City of Children would become somehow successful and doubled its initial forecast of 400,000 customers. It would be at this stage where our duo of Xavier and Lewis would split up, though, with the earlier remaining with City of Children, later Kidzania in the 2000s, and the latter moving to the US in 2004. Why? Well, that's because he was the chief creative officer of Wannado City, a very similar concept. From what I could find, it seems that Wannado City was inspired by City of Children. It makes sense, as the owner of the creatively named Wannado City Entertainment was CIE Amusement Parks, who are based in Mexico. It would have its first location at the Sawgrass Mills Mall, with other locations announced such as one in the infamous Vapor Mall called the Meadow Woods Xanadu, with even a mall of the location being shown at the Fort Lauderdale location. But the Wannado City in Fort Lauderdale would be the only one in existence. But enough about that. How about we take a look inside and explore what Wannado City actually was? Wannado City was similar to City of Children, as mentioned before, except it was enormous and expensive. Costing a whopping $40 million to build, it was the size of 3 football fields and featured, at the time of opening, 250 different activities, most of which were sponsored by corporations such as Spirit Airlines. Both children and parents would be given a RFID security bracelet, so they could find one another if separated via kiosks scattered throughout the city. Once that was done, you received a starting amount of 150 wongas, the currency of Wannado City. Wannado City was segmented into 2 different types of activities. Ones where you earn wongas, such as being a news reporter for the Miami Herald, how awful, and one where you spend wongas, such as seeing a theater show or something like that. During the early days of Wannado City, there was also an ATM card that you could either deposit or spend wongas, but this was discontinued in 2006. It was all within a well-themed city that looked like a city, complete with its own city fountain, circus, theater, and much more. The $40 million cost was absolutely reflected in its design, because even looking back on these photos, it doesn't really capture how real and incredible it looked for a child like me back then. It didn't stay static either, as Wannado City would see numerous additions between 2004 and 2010, such as a Willy Wonka-themed factory where kids could create their own creations, which I absolutely loved, and I think that's the reason why I'm addicted to nerds. Anyway, there was also the Motorola M-Lab, where you would board a smart sub and play games to discover new fish species. It also had some seasonal events, such as Christmas decorations during the holidays, and freaking dinosaurs! Yeah! So, conclusively, it was a well-themed and interesting park that had every right to succeed, and even could have been a whole franchise. So, what happened? So, there are multiple reasons why Wannado City would cease to exist, so I will just simply list them in ascending orders of yikes. 1. Wannado City was extremely expensive both to build and maintain, costing $40 million to build and an unspecified amount to maintain, although given the amount of activities available, I am guessing that might be a lot of money. 2. Wannado City was expensive as well in admission tickets. Yes, it was less expensive compared to Walt Disney World or Universal, but this ain't Orlando. You're in South Florida, competing against museums and zoos that cost much less in comparison. 3. Wannado City had a lack of activities for adults besides watching their children or hang out in the adult lounge called the Eagle's Nest. And considering Wannado City would charge admission for parents, that's an extra yikes. 4. Children, the main audience of Wannado City, was in school from Monday to Friday, meaning that besides weekends and summers, Wannado City had very little money coming in during the week and non-summer seasons. And to top it all off is number 5, the financial crisis of 2008 or so. I'll spare the details of that, but during a financial crisis, people will be less inclined to spend money on frivolous things such as Wannado City, thus likely seeing even less profits than the small amounts they had before. For all these reasons, Wannado City would officially close its doors in 2011. Its assets would be sold off at auction. I remember the final time I was there with my younger sibling, walking around one last time when it was nearly closing time, admiring a place that we basically grew up with since it opened in 2004, and it was quiet that evening. And maybe it should have been. For us, we were saying our goodbyes. While it may have had more than a few similarities to City of Children, Wannado City was truly something on its own and left a lasting impact on so many kids like me. It failed for a variety of reasons, none of which were because of its quality. Because it was one heck of an experience, giving thousands of kids the ability to do stuff that they liked or were interested in. Maybe they pursued careers because of something they did at Wannado City. Who knows? But in a weird twist of fate, the originator of this entire thing, City of Children, would outlive it and expand all over the world, and just recently opened its first US location in Dallas, Texas. Hopefully, it'll inspire kids the same way Wannado City did for me. But nothing for me can ever replace this little thing in a giant mall in freaking South Florida. Anyway, thank you for indulging me with this little history lesson, and I'll see you all on the next episode of Jordan's Soapbox. Right now, I need to get the theme song out of my head. Gosh dang it, it's so catchy.